Tonight on Hotty Toddy News, road conditions in Oxford and Lafayette County continue to worsen as snow and ice begin to fall again. Also, what you can expect during round 2 of winter storms. And 3,000 students take to the Grove for a snowball fight like no other. More coming up. Stay tuned.
From the School of Journalism and New Media on the campus of the University of Mississippi, this is Hotty Toddy News.
Good evening, and thank you for tuning in to a special snowy edition of Hotty Toddy News. I'm Justin Class. The snow and ice falling this week have created treacherous road conditions for drivers in Lafayette County. Matthew Henley has more on the roads here in Oxford.
It is very, very cold.
Campuses closed, roads iced, cities shut down. This is the aftermath of a strong winter storm hitting Mississippi on Sunday night and all day Monday.
One snowplow. I've seen one snowplow. 0 salt chucks. Look, this is the best condition the roads have been in all day.
Icy roads, turning cars around. Oxford police reporting a total of 20 accidents in the past 3 days due to dangerous road conditions.
Be mindful. Slow, cautious movements. Don't get in a hurry.
But now, more snow on the way. Another winter storm warning headed for Lafayette County. Oxford police pleading with students and local residents to stay off the roads.
I would advise not to drive unless you absolutely have to. Don't try to drive the speed limit because the roads are not ready for that. Prior to getting to intersection, slow down. Don't slam on your brakes because if you do, you're going to get into a skid.
If you do find yourself in a situation this week where your car is sliding on ice, experts recommend 4 things. 1, don't panic. 2, don't hit the accelerator. And 3, don't hit the brakes. What you're going to want to do is correct the slide. And this is what I mean. If the rear end of your car is fishtailing toward the right, what you're going to want to do is take the steering wheel and gently turn it into that slide toward the right. If your car fishtails toward the left, gently take the steering wheel and turn into that slide. I know it sounds counterintuitive, but that's what's going to help correct your slide and get that traction back underneath your tires. And whatever you do, remember the first rule. Don't panic.
And if you do get stuck or in a wreck, immediately call OPD and let a friend or a relative know. In Oxford, Matthew Henley, Hotty Toddy News.
Thanks, Matthew. And for many, not being able to hit the roads has been a major stressor. But for others, keeping the water in their pipes running and power on is becoming a big problem. Rebecca Donaldson has more.
Oxford and Lafayette County officials say residents should monitor their utilities as the second half of the winter storm sweeps the area. Snow and ice is causing power outages, leaving areas in the dark and cold. Around 30 outages were reported within the past 24 hours. General Manager of Oxford Utilities, Rob Neely, says his biggest concern moving forward is more power outages.
If we do get a half-inch of ice, we could have numerous electrical outages due to frozen limbs and trees contacting power lines. We'll work diligently throughout the night tonight, removing the limbs, repairing the lines, and restoring power as quickly as possible.
The Oxford Utilities office is open today to assist with any needs you may have and isn't disconnecting any unpaid utilities until this weather passes. Neely says to be patient as they work to get all utilities up and running again. Snow and ice is also causing pipes to freeze and burst. Pumpkin Water Association says their customers should boil their water because of broken pipes, and the Mississippi Rural Water Association says to conserve as much water as possible to avoid a shortage. Oxford Police Department says they've been responding to more calls about water issues. Deputy Chief Sheridan Maiden says residents need to be prepared.
We tell you let it run. A little trickle of water coming through it constantly. Let it run. That helps keep pipes from freezing up.
Residents should keep their faucets running with a light but steady flow of cold water and open their cabinets below to keep pipes from freezing and bursting. It's also important to know where your water source is at home in case a pipe bursts. That's the only time that it should be turned off during these weather conditions. Rebecca Donaldson, Newswatch Ole Miss.
Thanks, Rebecca. Within the last 24 hours, pipes have burst in both the Flats and the Domain apartment complexes. And if you thought conditions couldn't get any worse, think again as Oxford and Lafayette County prepare for round 2 of winter weather. According to WTVA meteorologist Joel Young, this next round of inclement weather will put us right back at square one. Look for more freezing rain and snow throughout the evening and into the night, with more snow possible in the morning. but it shouldn't stay long with sunshine and temperatures into the 40s and 50s rolling into the weekend. The weather has caused vaccination facilities across the state to postpone their scheduled appointments for the week, including here in Lafayette County. But don't worry, if your appointment got canceled, it will be automatically rescheduled. To keep up with the newest vaccine scheduling throughout the week, go to msdh.ms.gov. When the first wave of serious winter weather hit, the university was quick to shut down campus and discourage virtual classes for Monday and Tuesday. Virtual learning resumed today, but campus remains closed through Friday. While many commuter students were able to prepare for their cold week at home, students living on campus are having a difficult time getting food and other essentials.
All of our vending machines have no food in them anymore. And since the Rebel Market was the only place open yesterday, there were long lines to get food for you had to wait 20 to 30 minutes just to grab something.
RH3 assistant Brenda Orlena says that some students are really struggling to get adequate food on campus. However, one student says it is even more difficult if you have an allergy.
I can't eat anything with gluten, and so I go to Rebel Market and my options are pretty much a burger with no bun or a salad bar, and even then there's always a chance of cross-contamination.
Campus hasn't been the only thing closed this week. On this Ash Wednesday, one of the most popular religious holidays for Christians, many churches are canceling their services and moving them online.
Pastor Joe Tonos has canceled this week's Ash Wednesday service due to the weather conditions. However, he says that members can still continue Ash Wednesday practices safely at home.
An internal conversion, I think that proves the mettle of that. But, today still is that day of fasting and abstinence, prayer. I say it'd be a good day to sit back and just resolve what you're going to do.
Churches throughout the area are encouraging their parishioners to observe Ash Wednesday from home to the best of their ability. The treacherous road conditions, closing down churches, and deterring people from driving along icy streets have left them stranded in various places. Caroline Chrysler has more on what some people are doing to get from point A to point B.
With temperatures dropping fast and snowfall sticking for multiple days, many Oxford residents were not prepared to be stuck in place for an extended period of time. Oxford Police Department has tried clearing many main roads, but many are still dangerous.
The Public Works Department is out clearing some roads now. We're trying to hit those major thoroughfares to make sure that they're accessible in and around some of the stores and things where people want to be.
Residents that do not feel safe driving have opted to walking for miles to gas stations to get their basic needs.
I've walked nearly 15 miles in the past couple of days. I walked to the grocery store to get the groceries I needed, and then I walked to my friend's house because my house didn't have any power, so I went over to hers because she had power.
With stores selling out fast and no shipments coming in, this is a temporary solution. OPD believes some roads are safe enough to drive on, but recommends only leaving your residence for essential items.
Because the stores are limited as far as what they're doing right now anyway. I've been to Kroger, they're open. I think Walmart is open, but getting in Walmart and getting out of it is a little bit tricky. That little incline leading up into the parking lot is almost like a sheet of ice, so you have to really be careful about that. And whoever you send around, it would help if they have a four-wheel drive vehicle.
If you do need to leave your home, check Oxford Police Department's Twitter account for safe roads for travel and updated store hours. Caroline Chrysler, Hotty Toddy News.
Thanks, Caroline. Many Oxford residents have found themselves unable to even get out of their neighborhoods thanks to steep hills and thick snow. McKinley Rutledge has more on what one neighborhood is doing to make driving easier for its residents.
For many residents in Oxford, driving in the snow has been an issue. But one apartment complex, Wellington Place, manager Talget Brown has accommodated residents by salting the roads.
Just because the whole entrance to Wellington is a slope downward until you get to the pool house.
Brown says with this steep entrance, salt has been placed in the area.
If we saw black ice in or anything like that, we tried to go ahead and put salt on it just to kind of minimize the risk of black ice and people, slipping and sliding into other tenants' cars that are parked.
Brown tries his best to accommodate residents, even with the lack of resources during this time.
There's so much snow and ice out there. There's not enough salt. All the stores ran out of salt. So
One resident, Avery Chamberlain, says she is grateful for all the apartment complex is doing to keep the residents safe.
Phones out, so y'all know to like drive slow and like be careful. So I was really impressed that he did that the night before.
As Wellington Place keeps their tenants informed on the snowstorm, the property is doing everything to keep residents safe at this time. This is McKinley Rutledge reporting for Hotty Toddy News.
Thanks, McKinley. The city of Oxford is asking everyone to stay off the roads whenever possible so that crews can continue working to clear them. About 3,000 students decided to overcome the rough roads and steep driveways on the way to the Grove Monday for a massive snowball fight that quickly got out of hand. Maddie Bornfleth has the story.
What started out as a few hundred people having a snowball fight quickly transformed into thousands after one student said in a group message, and I quote, "at anyone and everyone." The initial intention of the group message read, and I quote, "we're trying to make this snowball fight the biggest ever in Mississippi." The idea began through a group message called GroupMe, which allowed for thousands of students to be added to the group message, including University of Mississippi student Lakin Loveless. Loveless is from Texas and does not get to see snow very often, so she wanted to take advantage of the snow day.
My friends are going, so I didn't want to miss out on all the picture opportunities.
Of the hundreds of students who attended the snowball fight, few were following city and university COVID guidelines. Like many other students, Loveless didn't have time to worry about COVID.
COVID didn't exist for one day. It was really nice.
Loveless did not originally start in the Grove. She was taking pictures at the stadium when students began chanting "Rush the Vaught" as crowds began running towards Vaught Hemingway Stadium.
And we grabbed all of our stuff to go back to the Grove. And as we're like grabbing our stuff to walk there, we just see like a huge crowd of people running at us. So we like turned around and started running the other way.
Students are shown entering the stadium in a video on social media when a UPD vehicle drives toward the crowd on the icy roads to scatter crowd members. As of now, at least 2 students were detained by the University Police Department and cited for trespassing in Vaught Hemingway. The university is still trying to identify students involved with the snowball fight and storming the Vaught. Maddie Bornfleth, Hotty Toddy News.
Thanks, Maddie. Snowball fights aren't the only winter activity going on in Oxford. With classes canceled and no spring break to look forward to, students on campus and across the city have been making the most of their long winter weekend. Grace Marion has more.
After recent winter storms coated northern Mississippi in a layer of snow, the people of Oxford started to look for snowy fun. Unfortunately, the newly fallen fluff wasn't suitable for snowball fighting on Monday.
Oh, well, the snow was actually bad for a snowball fight. I didn't want to pack well together, so it wound up kind of being just more of a gathering than an actual snowball fight.
Unable to snowball fight, sophomore Hatcher Garland went sledding before making his way into a hot tub with friends.
Yeah, I mean, it was a fun time, but we had to get out and leave, and that kind of sucked because I was trying to put on my shoes, so I wouldn't get frostbite to my toes or my feet, and my shoes were frozen, and I couldn't put my feet in. I had to go inside.
Although spending time in the snow may seem fun, Oxford Police Department says that no outdoor activities are really safe right now.
You're out there in places where you may get hurt, and trying to get EMS personnel in to get to you may be challenging.
For Hotty Toddy News, I'm Grace Marion.
Thanks, Grace. That's all we have for today. Thank you for tuning in to Hotty Toddy News. I'm Justin Class. Thank you, be safe, stay warm, and have a wonderful week.